Ready to take that spring break? You better hurry, or there goes your chance to save up to 40% on Northwest. Sale ends soon.
It's Friday night, and the PBA is coming to you live from the Tri-Cities Coliseum in Kennewick, Washington. Here are your 5 finalists for tonight's Track Synergy Open. In the 5th position from Jackson, New Jersey, appearing in a record 5th Arena Finals, 11-time champion Parker Bohn III. His opening opponent rolled a 290 in the final game last night to make his 2nd consecutive telecast from Jamaica, New York, Tommy Delutz Jr. The winner of that first match will go up against one of the 9 players in PBA history to roll a 300 game on live TV. From Lake Havasu City, Arizona, Butch Soper. The number 2 seed won this event in 1993 and went on to become Player of the Year that year. From Stockton, California, Walter Ray Williams Jr. Bowling in the title match against one of those 4 survivors is a man making the first PBA telecast of his career. From Hudson, New York, Brian LeClair. There is your outstanding field. Now let's go to Mike and Earl.
Thank you, Mike Sands. Earl Anthony, another arena telecast. We can hear the excitement here. We went 5 weeks on the tour, 4 weeks, and nobody repeated tonight. Everybody but our leader, Brian LeClair, making their 2nd telecast. Plus, we've got a lot of experience in arena telecast, as this graphic will tell us right here, as it just comes up in just a second here. Parker in his 4th right there. Walter Ray with 3. And Butch Soper having 1 telecast in an arena finals. Although not too many of them won from there. Butch, though, a real interesting case.
Well, Butch is, seems like he's in his 2nd childhood, you might say, on the PBA Tour. 25 years as a touring player out here, and this is his best start ever. Here's a guy that now is in his 2nd telecast, as you mentioned, Mike, in only 5 tries. So he is loving these new bowling balls.
Yeah, and at age 46, too. Another guy loving almost every condition, Walter Ray Williams Jr. Just can't stop this guy.
Well, at least he didn't qualify first this time, where he can end up 2nd. He qualified 2nd with a chance to go on and win. And Walter Ray is really struggling trying to get that next win. He's got 24 seconds, 16 firsts, and if anything would make him happy, it would be able to equal that record at 24 and 24.
Well, he's got a few wins to do, but he was hitting them well in practice. Our tournament leader, relative inexperience, but he does have some experience in an arena setting. Brian
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And it's in a big tournament experience, you might say, because it's the American Bowling Congress Masters Championship, where he bowled a 298 game in his first time on national television. So you can't just consider this guy a so-so player. You have to respect his ability. In our opening match, we've got two very outstanding players. In the number 4 position is Tommy Delutz. Tommy did it again. Just 2 weeks ago, he bowled 246 to make the telecast in the last game. This time he bowled 290 to get there. His opening opponent is one of the best lefties to ever play the game, Parker Bohn III. Parker Bohn is looking to really get it going. He's got a lot of talent. Expect him to get it going. It looks like the players are ready to go, and we're going to start that first match right now.
Thank you, Earl. The handshake between Parker Bohn and Tommy Delutz. Parker, the only left-hander on our telecast tonight. Players, as we were watching them warm up, were saying that they thought the lanes were just a little bit tighter than they really wanted them to be, so it was a little fishing going on in practice. Maybe they're saving it for the actual competition. As Parker Bohn starts with the old ringing 7 right out of the gate. Changes balls. Cross lane at the 7-pin. It. Tommy getting up on lane 4, as we have 4 lanes set up here at the Tri-Cities Coliseum.
Well, Tommy's been he's been Mr. Position Round, you might say, and if he can keep those strikes going. I watched him last night, spare 11 in a row, and he's really on a streak. The young man's got a lot of talent. He's been around for a few years, but he's looking for that first win, and I think he's going to be a real threat tonight, Mike.
Well, he's paid his dues early. He's worked his way up, you know, and he's getting to that position now where that first win could come at any time.
No question about it. His opponent, Parker Bohn, is an exceptional case, and he's had some tough luck, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Interesting carry there, the last 2 pins down there. I couldn't tell whether that was the 8-10 or the 110.
If you want to pick out an arm swing, if you're at home watching and you're saying, well, I'd like to copy one of these guys and say this is going to make me a great player, watch this arm swing. This is one of the best in the business.
And right through the nose, leaves just the 4-7. Parker, I know, was not really comfortable in practice. He was just changing balls and a little bit of angles, trying to find a way to get the ball into the 1-2 consistently.
Yeah, his arm swing has changed a little bit as far as getting it away from his body also. I noticed that.
And he whiffs that spare. We talked to him about averaging 237 in arena telecast, but not winning.
I think I need about 10 in a row, to tell you the truth. Lately, I've been getting beat quite regularly with high scores, so I just think I need a break or two here or there, but obviously you're going to need a lot of strikes.
And missing spare certainly won't help it as he leaves a 7. The head pin comes and chases it, but doesn't catch up with it.
Well, to give you an idea what Parker's talking about right there, and here's another look at that shot, Mike. You say the head pin. Watch the head pin go to the wall, comes all the way back across, but it's just a little bit shorter than it needs to be to carry the 7. In his last 2 television appearances, Parker Bohn, his 2 opponents have thrown 23 strikes out of 24 shots. They've averaged 284. Now, that's kind of tough to beat.
It started with a double tonight.
All right, we're 25 out of 26.
Oh, poor Parker.
Well, some days it just doesn't pay to get there, but at least he's making a pretty good paycheck just by making the telecast.
Oh. I don't know. Something upset Tommy all the way there. He looked back at the tournament director, Johnny Campos. And one of the officials is running down and talking to somebody.
Well, this is like bowling in a tunnel. You've got to kind of pay attention to what you're doing and really concentrate well. We just got a little boy down there who's enjoying himself. Nothing wrong with that. But there are people all maybe 40 feet down the lanes on both sides, and you've got to really keep your head down and think about what you're doing, Mike. There's a look at what I'm talking about, Mike. You can see all the people.
Great shot there, yeah.
And these people, they know they're bowling. They know they're not supposed to be moving around, but once in a while somebody's going to squirm a little bit. And there again, what you were talking about in the opening, how important arena experience is. People like Parker Bohn, of course, Walter Ray Williams, they've been here before. They know what to expect. It won't bother them quite as much as it might a Tommy Delutz or, of course, a Brian LeClair.
Tommy, though, been so loose all week long, really in a relaxed frame of mind, comes right back and puts it in there. So we've completed 3.5 frames. Tommy with a 22-pin lead as he talks to those pins, and these messages will be talking to you. We'll be right back.
374-90042.
Account code.
963-400.
Fax.
697-364.
Cellular.
889-26801.
Since the last thing you need is one more number to remember, MasterCard is developing the single-digit PIN code. Someday, a computer chip in your card will recognize your unique mark, so your personal identification code is personal. It's how the future will be paid for. MasterCard. It's smart money.
You want dazzling whiter teeth? You want Aqua Fresh whitening.
Sounds good, but how safe is it?
It's everyday safe and no peroxide, bleach, or harsh abrasives.
What's in this anyway?
It's a real breakthrough. The patented Tri-Clean formula safely breaks up stains to help get your teeth their whitest.
Oh yeah? How does it stack up to my toothpaste?
Aqua Fresh whitening with fluoride is clinically proven to whiten better than Crest. Even Rembrandt can't beat it.
Now that's whitening.
Aqua Fresh whitening. Safe to use every day for dazzling whiter teeth.
The Track Synergy Open is being brought to you by Track's latest technical knockout, Synergy, and by MasterCard. MasterCard, it's smart money. Parker Bohn up on lane 4, trailing by 22 pins in this match right now. Still looking for his first strike. And finally gets it.
We'll take another look at that shot by Parker Bohn III. And again, we talk about this great arm swing. Just a little more ball speed. Looks like he might have moved right a little bit, Mike, with his target area. Got the ball well out in front of him. Delayed the break point. And that was the difference in the ball reacting in the pocket area rather than high on the head pin.
Still was high flush there.
Look at that
237 average. My goodness, yeah.
It's not a bad game. That's over 42 games. That is 237.
Oh, and another solid 7-pin. He had that one written up.
Some days just aren't going to be there. Tommy Delutz is putting pressure on him early in the match because he's bowling so well. And again, Parker Bohn knows that Tommy is very confident based on what his performances have been the last 2 weeks. He knows he has to bowl a good score. And maybe that's part of the reason he's having these kind of problems.
Boy, 2 missed spares in 5 frames, just not like Parker. And right now, Tommy's in a commanding position, can really put this match away early.
Yes, he can. Well, not so much put it away, but he can definitely put him in a position where it's going to be nothing but strikes the rest of the way for Parker Bohn to have any chance.
Well, the best Parker can get if he strikes out is 225 right now.
Doesn't sound like much when you got a 237 average for the week, does it?
No, well, that's true. Tommy trying for a double. Different bowler than he was last week on television.
Yeah, and a different ball reaction than Parker Bohn's ball. Parker's continuing to hook and cutting through the pins. And we'll take a look at Tommy Delutz on the way to the foul line. Here's a look at another classic stylist. The good straight push away, the long free arm swing from the shoulder. Look how steady that head is. Watch for his position at the foul line. Shoulders over the knee, follow through straight to the ceiling, the elbow down at the floor.
Nice balance right there. Trying for 3. Wow. Looks good, doesn't he?
Looks real good. I'm glad I'm not bowling him.
Especially with 2 opens in 5 frames.
That's right. Parker doing a little work on the thumb hole of his bowling ball, trying to make sure that he doesn't lose it on the spares. I think Parker just lost the ball off his hand on those 2 spares. A little warm here in the Coliseum, even though they're bowling on top of a slab of ice. This is a hockey rink.
And Parker leaves another 7-pin. And as you can see, as it tries to knock it over, ESPN brings you all of the scores at 10:30 and 50 past each hour, keeping you apprised of what's happening in the world of sports.
Well, I bet he doesn't miss this one.
Wow, somebody yelled at him right. She's ready to let that go. Parker says, that's okay.
Maybe it made him tug it right up there to the 7th pin. What do you think? One of his, well, not one of, maybe the #1 ambition in Parker Bohn's bowling mentality is to be voted one day the PBA Player of the Year. And he's got to win some matches on television for that to happen. He's making the telecast, but he can't seem to get it going once he gets here.
But doesn't that happen? Well, we'll talk about that later when we come back. Right now, as we head to the last part of this match, Parker Bohn trails by 54. But we don't want you to trail. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Continental in Harrisburg and Hershey is having a no sale like our snow and flood sale. Continental understands bad credit, no credit, or even repossession. It happens to the best of us. Continental says if you've got a job, pay your house payments and utilities, you've got credit at the Continental Reestablishment Credit Centers, where $49 down can let you drive home tonight. A 96 Dodge Neon for as little as $153 a month. For Dodge, see Continental Dodge, 1280 East Chocolate Avenue in Hershey. For Honda, see Continental Honda, opposite the Harrisburg International Airport in Middletown. For Toyota, for Mazda, and for Subaru, 3233 Paxton Street in Harrisburg.
Hi, I'm Dane Whitmoyer, owner of Whitmoyer Ford Mercury in Elizabethtown. I want to remind you that we also have tremendous deals on used vehicles. So if you're in the used vehicle market, get that VCR ready because you don't want to miss this. Remember, that's Whitmoyer Ford Mercury at our new location along Route 283 at the Elizabethtown Reams exit.
And you can see the crowd here at the Tri-Cities Coliseum. Tommy Delutz, even though he's inexperienced in arena settings, has got a commanding 54-pin lead, trying to add to that as we head into the 7th frame.
You know, it's kind of interesting. We continue to mention the arena setting experience factor, and the reason we do that is because the bowlers bowl 42 games throughout the week at a local bowling center. That's Celebrity Bowl here in Kennewick, and then they come over and bowl on 4 specially installed lanes here in the Coliseum, the Tri-Cities Coliseum, and the atmosphere is completely different. You go from the low ceiling in the bowling center with the people right next to you or right behind you watching to this tremendously high ceiling, open air atmosphere, almost like being outdoors, Mike. And bowling on these 4 specially constructed lanes, it's a different lane surface too. So it's a whole different setting with a tremendous crowd here cheering them on. So it does take some getting used to.
And you can see the score right there. Tommy, even though had that bad break of a solid 8 in the 7th frame, still leads by 53. Right now, wants to just keep filling the frames and keeping the pressure on Parker Bohn. Uh-oh, an opening.
Well, that opening was pretty obvious coming, too. You could see it when the ball left his hand. He got more on that one. He got the ball off his hand on the upswing, which created more back end, and that's the reason he got the big split. Instead of stroking the ball through, laying it down basically on the lane, that one he got it well out in front and hit it on the upswing.
So would you say on that one his hand didn't chase the ball?
Well, that one, watch, here's another look. Watch how this ball is lofted out on the lane, and he'll hit up on this one. This is what creates more hook on the back. See how the ball was lofted? That's more back end.
Now, when he does that, does he throw it slower at the same time?
Definitely. The ball, it loses ball speed because you're not going through to the target, you're going up. Oh, what a disastrous break for Parker Bohn. A chance to get back into the match, and the solid 8-pin on what he thought was a great shot, and it looked to us like a great shot also. Parker going at about a 175 pace as we get another look at that last shot. The ball just hits too hard. No deflection there.
And he converts the 8-pin. We've got a triple header for you coming up. If you haven't seen the #1 team in the nation, University of Massachusetts, they host George Washington at noon. Then at 2 o'clock, it's Illinois State battling Bradley for the lead in the Missouri Valley Conference. We finish off at midnight with Fresno State hosting Brigham Young. If you like basketball, that's it. Right now, Parker is not liking what's happening here.
Well, Tommy Delutz, at this point, 2 frames to play, needs a mark in one of the next 2 frames to win the opening match. And nothing is ever given away. You still got to go out and earn it. So, see what he can do right here. I expect him to do quite well, to be honest with you.
More speed there. And right in there.
See the different trajectory of the ball coming off the hand? That one was going out to the target as opposed to the ball on lane 3 last frame was going up off his hand. And that's the difference in where the ball makes its break point.
Boy, it didn't take a whole lot of difference there. A foot or two, and it changes the result.
Even inches, as you know. That's a very small target down at the other end. It's 60 feet away, and we're trying to hit 1/8 of inches.
And we see the score there, 172 to 135. The best that Parker can get is 195.
Very interesting. He tried to open up and throw harder, and all he did was hit it harder. So there again, as the lanes change, break down a little bit. If he tries to open it up, it's going to overhook. He's lucky, he's fortunate, as we look at that shot again, that this is a winning shot, so that he can now have that opportunity to use that information in the next match against someone that is very tough to beat, Butch Soper.
And Tommy started strong, finished on the weak side at even 200, but he's going to be a winner as the best Parker can get is 195.
And Parker has to have going through his mind, I missed a couple easy spares.
Yeah, and had a golden opportunity, but he just couldn't get zeroed in on both lanes at the same time.
That's strange. A man with his experience, you think he would find a way to make something happen. Qualified to this point, as we mentioned, averaging 237, almost 238, on a lane surface that was hooking considerably more than this, where he had to stand maybe 15 boards to his right of where he's standing now and open up the lane and hook it a lot.
Something that he normally doesn't like that much as he finishes with 174. A disappointing 26-pin loss to Tommy Delutz in our opening match here at the Tri-Cities Coliseum. We'll be back shortly. When we do, we're going to have another average builder for you dealing with your attitude. So I suggest that you stay tuned.
This just in, WKTL Weather Watch reports a possibility of snow today.
Next time, check the Weather Channel for early warnings on weather conditions 24 hours a day. The Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
Anacin, more relief than the regular strength of Bayer or Tylenol. Anacin, when you really got a headache.
Why are rebel forces in Peru fighting against the current government?
2 words. Argentina.
When life calls for deeper answers, enter CompuServe, the online service with deeper content. Call for free software.
When David Crane's wife turned up dead...
Do you have any idea what went on here tonight?
The police had only one suspect.
I didn't do it. Go find the guy that did.
Now, a scientific breakthrough.
Do you really transfer memory? It was like I was actually there.
It's his only chance.
I've got a new lead.
Before time runs out.
Police! Listen!
Rated R, now playing.
You're right. The real way to do it is take the body out and the head's going to fall. You gotta rip. You gotta dig.
Sunday Night Boxing on ESPN2.
If you've been watching our average builders so far this season, you know that the theme is adjustments. We've talked about adjusting with targeting, speed, weights, and even the bowling ball itself. And tonight I want to talk about one final, in fact, the most important adjustment, and that is attitude. And the reason I say that is if we don't approach bowling with the proper attitude, all of the other adjustments may not be available to us. Let me contrast 2 bowlers going into the bowling center on a weekly basis, and I'll use myself as the example both times. Let's suppose I'm headed for the bowling center, and as I go in the door, I have a choice of approaching with either a negative or a positive attitude. And by a negative attitude, what I mean is that I can go in there assuming that the lane condition is going to be a certain way. And if it isn't the way that I expect, then I'm inflexible. I don't think of adjusting my target or the speed or a bowling ball or something like that. I'm just upset because the lane condition is not what I thought it was going to be. Also, I'm not self-confident. I'm not relying on myself to be able to make the adjustments and overcome that condition. I'm letting that lane condition tell me just how good I really am. And third, I'm not going to have any fun. I'm not going to enjoy my evening out, that I may get away from whatever, and it's not going to be any fun. But as I go through that door, I can take an alternate approach. I can choose to have a positive attitude when I go in. And by a positive attitude, I mean that I'm basically neutral as to what the lane condition is going to be. It's there, whatever it is. And as I start to bowl on it and throw on it, I'm flexible, so I'm open to adjusting with the target or with speed or with weights or a new bowling ball. I'm ready to move my feet or move left or right, whatever I have to do to adjust. Plus, I'm having confidence in myself that I can overcome what's out there. I'm not letting the lane tell me just how good I am. And most important of all is I'm going in with the attitude that no matter what happens, I bowl 450 or 650, I'm going to have fun. Why? Because I'm going to enjoy the game, I'm going to enjoy the fellowship, I'm going to enjoy the social atmosphere, and I'm going to enjoy the competition. So it's up to us. As we head to that door and we're going in, which attitude are we going to choose? We can choose the negative, which leads to inflexibility, lack of self-confidence, and no fun, or I can choose the positive, which means that I'm flexible, self-confident, and having fun, and that will build my average. Next week, we're headed on down to Tucson, Arizona. It's the Tucson Open, March 1st 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll be there, and of course I will, with another average builder. And in our next match, Tommy Delutz. Will he figure out the left lane? Can Butch Soper figure them both out? Well, we're going to find out shortly. We'll be right back after this.
Don't roll with the punches. Throw them.
It's not whether you win or lose. It's whether you win.
11 strikes down. 10 pins up. 1 ball to go.
What would I like? Baked clam. Yes. Veal parmesan. Oh, and garlic bread.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, all the things that give me heartburn. Oh, and it's too late to take my Pepsid AC.
What?
The package says to prevent heartburn, you have to take it an hour before eating.
An hour? You don't have to wait that long.
I don't?
Try my Tagamin HB.
Tagamin?
The label says it takes half the time of your Pepsid.
You're kidding.
No.
I mean, I could take Tagamin HB now, order what I want, and not get heartburn?
Sure, and it lasts for hours.
Waiter.
Tagamet HB, advanced prevention of heartburn in half the time.
With my itchy dandruff, I said I'd try it. Denerex tingles. Head & Shoulders doesn't.
Both have effective dandruff medicine, but Denerex has something extra that tingles, feels fresh.
That's why I started using Denerex. The flakes, the itch, gone.
Denerex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think?
Original and cooling blue.
By Menon.
And you can see that there's a very nice crowd here at the Tri-Cities Coliseum, having a lot of fun. And with me again this week, the proprietor of Celebrity Bowl, the host center for this week's event, Mark Frank. You're here every week, Mark.
Well, these two at least.
Mark, for years you ran a very successful tournament up here, always had the television finals in your bowling center. You've chosen an arena now. Why?
Because the PBA is moving into the arenas with a lot of their TV shows, and I felt hosting 2 tournaments that we needed to get on board and be part of the arena finals deal. And I strongly believe that the arena finals is going to be the key to the PBA moving forward and growing.
Well, we thank you. And you're moving forward in your center, and thanks for being with us again tonight. And a ground view there. That's the lane cam right there. Or maybe the approach cam. Anyway, Tommy Delutz. We'll see if he can figure out lane 3 as he split the last 2 times that he bowled on it. Needs to move a little left, you think?
I don't know what he's going to do on this because the lane surface is changing constantly. The lighting, a lot of things affecting that. The oil will move down the lanes. These resin reactive bowling balls. There's a big move with his feet to the left. Opened up the lane. Got the love tap, Mike.
Well, as Billy Whaley used to say, it's a tender touch. I don't know if that's true anymore. You know that?
No, now it's the massive crunch.
Very good. I like that. Butch Soper will show you straight.
Well, the new and improved Butch Soper. 25 years out here, grinding away. It says 24 there. This is his 25th year. The new bowling balls have made a new Butch Soper. I firmly believe that, and I asked Butch about that, and he says, that's me. It's the bowling balls. Here's another look at Butch Soper going to the foul line. For a little guy, he can definitely generate lots of ball speed. Watch Butch use all of his leg strength to create the ball speed he needs. He looks like he's flying right into the living room. See him pull his head up to get that ball speed, straighten up that left leg. Not many players can straighten the left leg out completely like that and still get the ball on line. Butch, if he wanted to hook it, couldn't do that. Never straighten that leg out and hook the ball.
Well, whatever he's doing, he started right out with a double.
Well, he's done that a lot, too. Butch's last outing on television, as you know, was a sudden stop when they had the 300 game bowl.
He bowled C.K. Moore right after C.K. bowled that 300 game.
Right after the 300 game, and Butch was kind of deflated then. I think that's what did him in, seeing the 300 game. And again, the lanes are changing. We see here Tommy Delutz watching his ball react a little differently than he expected. they will continue to hook more and more, so he's going to have to make some adjustments, and the logical adjustment is to parallel left with his feet and his target.
Parallel meaning?
Meaning move his target and his feet basically the same amount toward the center of the lane and use more and more of the oil that's in the middle.
Well, we've been doing all these average builders on adjustments, and right now he needs to do that, right?
Why don't you run down there and give him one of your film clips, Mike, on those average builders. Let him look at it on one of the monitors. Oh, he's got him on tape. Oh, then he can't go wrong. I expect he'll strike out now since you said that. He's got him all lined up. This is the lane he had the most problem on. He made a great adjustment in the opening frame.
And got the good break on the 10-pin. Well, it's the battle of bowling. You know, you have one lane, then lose the other, and then get that one and lose the one you had.
They never hook too much for Butch. Butch Soper can get it down there and a hop skip. He looks like he's skipping rocks across the pond at times. He throws it so hard and so straight. But he definitely can get it where he wants it to go. 60 feet away, he'll get it between that 1 and that 3-pin time after time.
And leaves the 4-pin as it crept just a hair high right there.
No problem here for Butch. He will get a ball that doesn't hook very much. Having a little trouble getting his thumb in it.
And this is Mike Durbin along with Earl Anthony. We're at the Tri-Cities Coliseum for the Track Synergy Open. This is the championship round finals. In the third frame of the second game, Butch Soper right now leads in this game by 9 pins in the opening match. Tommy Delutz defeated Parker Bohn 200 to 174.
Not the kind of scores we expected, Mike. I really thought that we would look at some big numbers here today. In talking to the lane man beforehand, the PBA's lane man, Steve Cross, he felt that the surface was good enough, and the pattern that he had put down as far as oiling the lanes would create some big scores. We're bowling on Brunswick 3-pound 8-ounce pins, and on synthetic
3-pound 8-ounce, huh?
Synthetic lane surface here. Brunswick Anvil is the name of the surface we're playing on, and the players in the past on this surface have bowled extremely well.
Cross lane at the 10-pin. Do you think... well, I'll get to that thought in a minute.
Okay, here's the pin action of that shot that Butch threw. You can see the ball deflect. He didn't really get a lot into that shot. From the angle he's playing, the ball didn't hit very well. He's playing an extreme outside angle. So maybe Butch got a little too much ball speed and not enough rotation on the back end, huh?
Well, it almost climbed up there and got it. Missed it by about a half an inch. That 6-pin.
Yeah, that's a lot in this game.
And he gets his double. And be sure to stay up tonight till 12:30 for the LPBT. It's the Lubbock Open. Those ladies can bowl. You gonna stay up and watch?
Well, I don't know if I'll be up that late. I got an early flight tomorrow, Mike, but I definitely agree they can bowl, and they can bowl with anybody.
Well, it's earlier on the West Coast, though. You don't have to stay
They
up
have an
that.
interesting format. If you do stay up, pay attention to their format because it's a little different than the men's.
Time for 3 in a row. And just like Soper, leaves the 10-pin. The thought I was going to talk about earlier, do you think the players have a preference for the synthetic surface or the old wood surfaces?
Some players prefer the synthetic. Some players prefer the wooden. I preferred the wood myself because I felt it was more bowling. But that's just individual tastes, you might say.
What do you mean that you thought it was more bowling?
Well, because of the wooden surface, the wear and tear showed up more. You had to make more adjustments, little ball speed adjustments, rotation adjustments, things of that nature, based on the idiosyncrasies of the surface you were playing on.
And that doesn't happen as much with the
synthetics?
synthetics?
I don't think so. I think the oil moves around a little differently on the synthetics than it does on the wood, and that the synthetic surfaces can be extremely high scoring if the surface is prepared properly. And it was more and more a problem to get the guys in position to just shoot average numbers, you might say. Here's another look again at that shot by Butch Soper. You can see he's playing out near the channel between the first and second, right around the second board, and it just goes up through the middle of the head pin. Remember, on this lane, he was a little bit high with his last shot, left the 4-pin.
And the double pinochle, 8 out, and suddenly Tommy Delutz is up by 17 pins, and we're halfway through the second game. Butch Soper got to make the adjustment again now.
Well, I think the lanes, and again, I think on the synthetic lanes, the oil does move, especially with the resin-reactive bowling balls or reactive resin bowling balls. The oil tends to move a little quicker. The players tend to not be able to make those kind of adjustments. It tends to be a bigger adjustment. Instead of moving a couple of boards, you might move arrows at times on synthetic lanes. And I think as the oil moves, it's a bigger transition. And you go through a dead zone, you might say. By that I mean you bowl real well for a game or a game and a half, and then all of a sudden nobody can hit anything, and then it comes back to being high scoring again as the oil settles down.
How does he make this? Well,
he's going to hit this on the right-hand side of the 2-pin, let the ball take out the 8, let the pin take out the 7. Just like
just like that.
Nothing to it for Butch.
Nothing to it. Butch Soper converts to 2-7-8 to keep this match within 17 pins. Earl and I'll be back with the completion of our second match after these messages.
Just make sure you stay in the chariot, Chuck. I guarantee you're going to win the dang race.
That's good.
True story.
You are so special. That chariot thing you did and the water stuff. I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light. Frankly, son, you frighten me.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
And it's more like, I love you, man. See?
Explain the rating system for municipal bonds.
Well, they're rated either good or bad.
When life calls for deeper answers, enter CompuServe, the online service with deeper content. Call for free software.
With my itchy dandruff, I said I'd try it. Denerex tingles. Head & Shoulders doesn't.
Both have effective dandruff medicine, but Denerex has something extra that tingles, feels fresh.
That's why I started using Denerex. The flakes, the itch, gone.
Denerex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
My name's Piano Man. My pro is Reese McBee.
I want to say something, too. Piano Man to change his voice since y'all, you know, this is going on. Just be piano.
Oh, man,
you know?
You know, the Young American Bowling Alliance, YABA, makes carpet bowling sets available to schools along with workbooks and stickers to reward kids for advancing their knowledge of the sport. Some of the junior bowlers had a chance to try out that carpet bowling. The PBA players helped along and all that. I know that...
it's good to see those guys working for a change down there setting pins, those players.
Yeah, I know that at our particular bowling center, we have a couple of them out in the Akron schools.
Yeah, we do too, in California, where I'm located. We go to the schools with ours, and it's been a very successful program.
Well, it's a nice way to introduce young people to the sport in an atmosphere that they can do. They're not lifting a heavy ball. They still learn the fundamentals, and then you get them into the bowling center.
Well, what's even better is their parents bring them to the bowling center.
Yeah, right. And Tommy Delutz is bringing it right into the 1-3 pocket on a consistent basis, leading this match by 17 pins, trying to increase it to 27 with a double in the 7th frame. Ooh, the solid 10-pin. Keeping Butch Soper in the match if he can figure something out.
And I'm kind of surprised at Butch. Butch hasn't really gotten himself in position to really put any pressure on Tommy Delutz, and it's his own fault, basically. He's made mistakes that he normally wouldn't make. Butch, normally a very good player under pressure, likes this kind of a situation and makes good shots when he has to. It just doesn't seem to be the last 2 times out that he's been able to get it going. Now, it's either now or never for Butch Soper, running out of frames. Let's see if he makes an adjustment. Twice in a row he's been high on the right-hand lane, and the 4-pin and then the big 4. And he was actually looking at the monitor where he could see himself on screen after that big 4, so he could see maybe what he did wrong. So it's kind of interesting to see if he makes an adjustment based on that.
He was counting the boards down there, Earl. But he didn't count enough or something, because he's right through the heart of the pins and the 4-6-10 again.
Well, I think he tried to throw it farther out on the lane. It looked to me like, Mike, like he tried to loft the ball more, and that would delay the break, but it still rolled up high on him.
He's had 3 splits in a row. We talked to him about, after 30 years of the game, does he still love bowling?
Yeah, you love to bowl when you're like making the finals and making these TV shows like right now, but when you get into some slumps out here, this road gets
Then the sport's not as much fun anymore, but right now I'm having a blast of my life. I don't know when, in fact, last night, the last 8 games, I've never bowled 2,030 in my life for 8 games. So you ever know these new balls that are hitting so hard for me, and I got my coach, Billy Yinger, and it's like tennis now. You got your coaches, you got everything, and everything's working out good, and doing this for 30 years, it's you're probably like a masonry worker. You know, you lay in brick for 30 years, you'd be awful good at your job, you wouldn't think?
That was interesting.
Well,
I didn't know Butch could talk that long.
He did talk a while, didn't he?
Yeah, but it was good. It was interesting.
Tommy trying. Ooh, the 2. Now, he did this last time when he went high. The 2, 4, 7, 8.
Oh, this is a definite problem here.
In the 8th frame, he's giving Butch Soper somewhat kind of life.
Well, Butch struggling along, going at a 178 pace with possible 208. And Tommy Delutz.
Is he going to go for this, or are you going to take the count?
I think he's going to go for it. This is very makeable. He wants to get the ball hooking into the left side of the 2-pin. Let the ball take out the back 2 pins. Oh, he's not going to do it that way.
Well, it's a hard way to get 9 out.
Yeah, it is.
You think that was the right move, going for the split rather than the pin count?
Oh, no question. He's got a considerable lead, and he still has 2 frames to play in the match, and I definitely would have done the same thing. I'd have gone to try to pick that up. It's a very makeable spare. If it had been an impossible split, definitely you go for the count.
Okay. 9th frame. Flush. Well, he puts all the pressure on Soper, who must be just trying to figure out what to do on lane 4.
Well, if Butch can hit lane 4, he's definitely in the match, because that would put him only 6 pins behind going into the 10th frame. And a chance to strike out for 208 and make Tommy Delutz get 2 hits in the 10th to win this match.
Butch
We're
Soper?
coming down to a good match.
Right.
This is the key shot, Mike. Gave it a chance.
Oh.
Well, as I mentioned, Butch can get it done when he has to. He's one of those kind of guys that it seems like the more pressure he's under, the better shots he makes.
Well, he's 46 years of age, and he put all of his years of experience into that shot, and needs to do it here, too.
Well, when you interviewed him, what did he say? Hey, after 30 years of laying brick, you ought to be able to lay him pretty good, huh? Well, he just laid a pretty good one out there right then.
And he's looking for that wall, but having trouble finding it.
Well. He gave himself a chance.
Has to hold, and does. He just took the lead with that one.
Well, Butch has been here so many times in the past. He knows what it's like, what it feels like. It's a very familiar feeling for him. Here's another look at that last shot. Butch, you see that arm swing gets out to the right, then he tucks it in at the bottom. Dead high flush. Or as they say, dead solid perfect, huh? This is the shot to take the lead right here. I mean, that took the lead. This is the one to make Tommy get 2 in the 10th.
Oh, the solid 8. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Well, it's better than the frame before, even though this one hurts. And watch how hard this ball hits, and watch what happens with the head pin. It goes up on top of the bowling ball, and it gets carried over the back. See it? Get on top of the ball and then get carried over the back. Solid 8.
You see how that head pin went into the 2, and the butt of it appeared to hit the 5 before the ball got there. Finishes with 197, making Tommy Delutz strike the first ball in the 10th to win.
Here's another look at that last shot by Butch, and we're kind of wondering if Butch grabs his wrist here at the end, whether he might have hurt himself, but I think it's just a reaction, and he's adjusting his wrist support.
Oh, the solid 10. Butch gets up and walks around. He's won this match, bailed it out at the end. Tommy Delutz leaves the solid 10 when he needed it to win. Well, they're not high scores, but it certainly is close.
Well, close is best. The thing about bowling on television, it's not what you shoot, it's whether you got more than the other guy. That's the key. If you've got more pins than he has, you're a winner.
Tommy has to be disappointed. The split in the 8th frame makes the great shot in the 10th, but it's not good enough to strike. So the final score of this match is going to be Butch Soper, 197, with 3 in a row at the end. Tommy Delutz finishes, and naturally the fill ball carries, 194. That earns Soper the right to move on to face Walter Ray. That completes 2 matches. We'll be back to show you the top 24 finishers right after this. Be sure to stay with us.
Beginning Sunday at 3, a Family Channel novel for television. The lifelong odyssey of 2 brothers.
I don't know how 2 boys can be so different.
And the events that drove them destinies apart.
The day you were born, you were nothing but bad news.
Van Johnson, Susan Blakely, Ray Milland.
It means power. It means money.
Bill Bixby, Dorothy McGuire, Linda Day George.
Good to have you aboard.
Ed Asner, Peter Strauss, and Nick Nolte. Rich Man, Poor Man. Beginning Sunday at 3 on the Family Channel.
Wanted, mature, sensitive men.
Red or white?
He kissed my hand.
Where was your hand?
Whoa, check please. You're not wearing a bra, are you?
And modern, liberated women.
You posed naked?
Whoa, pinch me.
To work at the world's wackiest airline.
You bet your G-string.
Maybe there's hope for me yet.
For non-stop flights of lunacy.
My, what a pleasant turn of events.
Hop aboard Wings on USA. Weeknights at 7, 6 Central.
And some of our other finishers. Steve Wilson, he's still looking for that elusive first title. Randy Peterson lost out in the top 5 in the final game last night.
And Brian Voss, his quest for back-to-back weeks with the title fell 107 pins short. And Dave DeAntremont, a 3-time finalist, finding the groove again.
And Don Sylvia, a name for the past. He finished in the top 10 this week. Rick Steelsmith still trying to live up to all that potential.
Jess Stayrook showing how consistent he is. He's made the match play all 5 weeks, but hasn't made the telecast yet. And Bob Benoit, who threw a pair of 300 games during this week's competition.
He can shoot them. Philip Ringener, he's the most prolific money bowler on tour without a title. And Jeff Hickenbottom, he does yoga to relax, Earl.
There you go. Wayne Webb, this guy here, he won just earlier this year, and he's still going strong. And Eugene McCune was in the top 5 for 2 rounds this week, but couldn't hold on.
Ed Richardson, we saw him in the championship round finals a few weeks ago. And, of course, Mike Albee, everybody's 1995 Player of the Year.
Well, Amleto didn't make the telecast, but he found out last week he and his wife will be having a child very shortly, so he's thrilled. And Jason Couch, one of the premier lefties on the tour, is taking the next couple of weeks off for his wife, who's expecting a baby soon.
And Alex Arizola, Oregon resident, well, he liked Washington this week. And Bob Belmont, his 4th match play appearance of this year.
And bringing up 24th, Ernie Schlegel, the Iron Man on tour. This was his record, 731st PBA tournament. And the alternate, Tony Rosamia, one of the subjects in the upcoming movie, Kingpin. And the great Walter Ray Williams warming up right now. And as he warms up, Earl Anthony, another great one, has a very special guest that he's talking to. With me, Larry Lichstein, the PBA Players Service Director, and also to be inducted soon, April 21st, as a matter of fact, into the PBA Hall of Fame. Larry, what a thrill.
It's a great thrill, Earl. It's a dream come true for me to be on the ballot many years and have waited, and now finally to be inducted along with names like Chris Schenkel and Eddie Elias and Harry Golden. It's a thrill of my life. Well, it's well-deserved, as you well know. And Larry, a lot of people don't realize you were a pretty fine bowler in your day. PBA Rookie of the Year, your first year. You won a tournament in 1971. What was the difference? Why did you switch to being a truck driver, you might say? Well, it was, I found something that I loved, and I recognized a lot of things that we needed in our locker room as a young man. I bowled out here for a living. I bowled you many times, and after getting whooped by you and people like Wayne Zahn and Ricker and Weber, it was more fun to work and get a guaranteed paycheck. All right. Well, a lot of people say the PBA would never have achieved what it's achieved. It wasn't for someone like Larry Lichstein, who has really helped guide them in the right direction and done a lot for the players. And Larry, speaking on behalf of the PBA and all its players, we're very happy for you and thrilled that you got into the Hall of Fame where you richly deserve to be. Thank you very much. Thank you, Earl. It's a great honor. Thank you. Well, that's a nice interview, Earl. A wonderful honor on Larry Lichstein. Our championship match, or semi-final match, Butch Soper taking on the great Walter Ray Williams.
For the star-studded Dallas Cowboys, it was a super show.
Second at the 40, Larry Brown with a big interception.
The thrilling climax.
Deluts to an amazing season. Share the glory in this exclusive Cowboys Super Pack, the incredible new Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl champions video, plus this collector's dream, a special leather-bound Sports Illustrated commemorative edition, both free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Call this number now and jump on with the silver and blue as they take you along through a season of wild twists and turns on their sensational ride to Super Bowl 30. It's a one-of-a-kind video featuring the one and only Dallas Cowboys. It's Troy and Emmett.
Oh, man, that's good stuff.
It's the Moose and Jay. The undeniable flash of prime time and the Playmaker. Don't miss this Super Cowboys tribute, free from Sports Illustrated.
Throws downfield.
Call now and get your exclusive championship package, including the Sports Illustrated Super Special Commemorative. Each collector's edition is leather-bound, gold embossed, and individually numbered. This colorful memento magnificently captures the Cowboys in a championship style you'll treasure forever. Both collector's items are free when you order 54 issues of Sports Illustrated, including the famous swimsuit issue, for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. Don't miss this exclusive, unbeatable Super Pack. Call now to get the Super Cowboys video and the special leather-bound collector's commemorative edition, both free from Sports Illustrated. Every week, enjoy a sports experience like no other. Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Tomorrow, Canby and Cool battle for board supremacy when the Colonials and Minutemen hook up in an A-10 skirmish. George Washington, UMass. Tomorrow at noon on ESPN.
And with me tonight, the president of track bowling ball for the Track Synergy Open, Phil Cardinale.
How are you, Mike?
I'm just fine, Phil. Phil, I can't help but wonder, what is synergy? What does it mean?
Well, it's where the some of the input is less than the output, so the output is greater. We developed a ball that we feel has a greater output than the parts put into it.
Is it selling well?
First day out, we had at least 10 in the top 24, so it looks like it's going to be a real winner for track.
And this tournament's a winner?
We think so. It's great. Great promotion, great fans in this area. Mark Frank does a great job, and we're real happy.
Thanks very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
And everybody here is enjoying this. As Butch Soper takes on Walter Ray. Walter Ray's been enjoying, he's been very relaxed in all of the preparations here in his practice and everything, and he seems to be wired into this pair of lanes.
Well, Michael, I hope somebody is, because the scores haven't been what, again, as I said before, what we expected. Maybe they'll get it going now. Two great players head-to-head.
Walter Ray making Butch, who struggled on lane 4, finish over there.
Well, as you know, the player that finishes higher in the standings gets his choice of starting lanes. And Walter Ray decided to start on the right, so he'll finish on the left. That ball rolled out, Mike. You see it?
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely rolled out. And by rolling out, folks, what I mean by that is the ball gets within 2 or 3 feet of the head pin, it stops hooking. Goes end over end into the roll, and that keeps it from going high in the head pin. Here's another look at the style of a Hall of Fame player. A good free arm swing, they call him dead eye, and the reason they do is because he very seldom misses what he's looking at. Look at the good balance, fouling. Walter Ray Williams, long follow through, and a great result. 2 in a row.
He sets it down so smooth, too. It's just like it's going over glass.
All right, just very quickly before this match gets too far along and maybe we get that $25,000 300 game from one of these guys, let me give you an idea what the format was. We had 143 bowlers start the week, and it took an average of 223 to get a check, which was 48th spot, 226 average to make the top 24. And after 18 games of qualifying, they cut to the top 24. We had those guys bowl another 24 games of match play, 1 game against each other with 30 bonus pins if you win the game. The top 5 players you see on television tonight. It's kind of a grind. It's a little bit of a grueling type thing over a 3-day period. And so you've got to be in pretty good condition and a pretty good athlete to survive.
And here we have a guy 37 and a guy 46 right now bowling in the semifinal match. Trying for 3 in a row, but Soper on lane 3.
Ooh, say he's got it figured out, wouldn't you?
Walter Ray must be thinking, everybody bowls good against me.
Well, that's what Parker Bohn was thinking, but, you know, sometimes you get that in your mind, and that's all you're thinking about, and you don't pay attention to your own game, and you get in trouble. Here it comes again. Sets up right in the pocket. What a match we got going this time.
Well, Walter figures the only defense is if he just keeps striking, huh?
Well, there is no defense in this game, as you well know. Otherwise, Steve Cook at 6'6" and 280 would have won every match. You remember big old Steve, don't you?
I remember, yes. Yeah.
What a great player he was.
Trying for 4 on lane 3. And has it. Boy, he's got that lane just really touched.
Butch has to figure he was pretty fortunate to get by that opening match there with Tommy Delutz. And, you know, when he had all the trouble in the middle of the game and got a couple of splits, Tommy left a 10-pin a couple of times when he needed a strike to put Butch away. Never happened. And now he's got his hands full with Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Trying to even the match. Ooh, gets a little swisher there.
Boy, got it going now. This is going to be a great match. No matter what way you look at it, after those opening 2 matches.
It's amazing.
Do they split the money if they both shoot 300, Mike?
Or they each get 25?
That's a good question. Well, they're selling an awful lot of those track bowling balls. Maybe they'll give them each 25.
I think they will. We'll go down S. Phil right away. Trying for 5 in a row on lane 3. Perfect. Well, the crowd has kind of been a little subdued throughout the evening. Maybe this will get them really hyped up.
Well, Walter Ray Williams has been kind of a crowd favorite. And you talk about experience. He's been here many times in these arena finals. He knows what it's like. But when you consider the fact that here's a guy that's been he's in his 5th arena finals, if I remember right.
That's correct.
But in the first 4, he bowled 7 games and only won 2 of them and averaged over 240 while he was doing it. 240 plus for 7 games, only won 2 of them.
I'll tell you what, 240 may not win this game. Well, after 5 frames, Walter Ray leaves the soft 10 on the left lane. Normally, as those of you who watch us on a consistent basis know that we usually take a commercial break right around now, but because we have the 300 games going, we're staying, and we're going to stay for Butch Soper to see how he does.
You know, last night, watching the bowlers bowl in the match play portion of the tournament, if you started with 5 in a row and got a spare, you figure you're going to lose the match. I mean, that's how the scores were.
That high, huh?
Oh, yeah. And
I was bouncing around in the air about then. I mean, as I was coming in.
Well, it was sure fun to watch. It's a real treat to watch the greatest bowlers in the world perform when they're throwing strike after strike after strike.
Butch Soper.
8 300 games this week.
Trying for 6. Well, he had that a couple of times in the previous match.
What a time to have it. Here's an opportunity to take the lead in the match for the first time. Walter Ray Williams made a good shot, left the 10-pin. Now Butch gets up there on the same lane that he'd done it before, right through the nose again. I wonder what's causing that. I wish I knew. Butch is the only one that can really tell us.
At the 6-10, trying for 2 of them. Oh, my goodness, it almost came. That 7-pin, if it had fallen, would have fallen right into it. Walter Ray would have said that would have been enough if somebody would have made 4, 6, 7, 10 against me.
All right, we'll take a look at the first shot Butch threw to get the big split here and see if we see anything different. And he's still playing just outside the first arrow. That maybe slowed up a little bit, Mike. Possibility, a little less ball speed.
Just a hair. Back in the 7th frame now, trailing by 17 pins, showing how important one shot is. Puts it right back in there. No trouble with lane 3, but he doesn't get the finish on lane 3. Well, we talked about that commercial break. We're going to have to take it right now. As we do, Butch Soper trails by 17 pins. Walter Ray will be up in the 7th after this.
Oh, she's got to notice me when she comes by. I mean, look at me. What's not to notice? I'm here.
I tell you, if you want to feel good, you got to look good. And if I'm going to run good, I got to feel good. Look at me. I'm designed for a high-octane gas. I love it. That's what I need. This Chevron Supreme with Tech Run. I mean, it makes me run like a champ. It's all good stuff. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
No premium outperforms Chevron Supreme with Tech Run. Chevron, simply smarter.
I mean, I don't mean to brag or anything, but I feel stupendous.
This just in. Heavy flooding expected in some areas.
Next time, check the Weather Channel. We have 65 meteorologists using exclusive WeatherStar satellite technology, tailoring forecasts right down to your neighborhood. The Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
Mike Durbin along with Earl Anthony here at the Tri-Cities Coliseum in Kennewick, Washington. It's the championship round finals of the Track Synergy Open. We're in the semifinal match, the 7th frame, with Walter Ray Williams Jr. leading by 17 pins in the opening match. Tommy Delutz defeated Parker Bohn 200 to 174. And then Butch Soper. Ooh, what a nice break. Thank you. Defeated Tommy Delutz in our second match, setting up this match.
Let's take another look at this last one, Mike. Watch the ball. This is very important. The ball goes into a roll right there, starts to hook, stops hooking, and that's the reason he tripped the 4 into the 9. If the ball had continued to hook, it would have been the big 4 or something similar,
just like
Butch Soper had.
balls.
The key is ball speed. Walter Ray getting the right ball speed to get the ball break at the right point and then stop right there.
And it's senior golf this Saturday and Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. It's the Senior PGA Tour as ESPN brings you the American Express Invitational. Bob Murphy, former ESPN analyst and second on the money list, is going to be there along with Ray Floyd, Dave Stockton, Lee Trevino, and a host of others. When are you going to join that, Earl?
They need some caddies out there?
Yeah, they do.
All right, Butch needs to get it going here, get back into this match. Still a lot of frames to play. Very much alive.
Oh, in the 4 pin. It hooks early and then stops. But it's like if he moved the board left, it wouldn't make it back.
Well, Butch, again, really relies on his ability to throw the ball hard. And I think that's the key to his game. When he is maxed out in ball speed, that's when he bowls the best. If he eases up, he gets in trouble. So Butch doesn't like to move left and try to arc the ball because then he tends to lose that ability to throw it at max speed. When you move left and arc the ball, you have to start making speed adjustments. Butch doesn't like to do that. He wants to stay to the right and throw as hard as he can because he figures he's more consistent that way.
Well, trailing by 27 pins, must strike here in the 9th frame. Doesn't get that early hook on that left lane that he gets on lane 4.
No question, the ball goes farther down the lane before it picks up revolution, so big advantage for him to finish there. A good choice maybe by Walter Ray to make him finish on the right-hand lane. Of course, Walter Ray can take all the decisions out of it for Butch just by throwing a strike or two right at this point in the match.
Will it hit it? No. Comes up short. So he leaves the soft 10, makes the adjustment for the 4-9 that he tripped out the last time on this lane. Leading by 26 pins if he converts this spare. See there, Walter Ray this week, 15-9 in match play.
Watch his eyes. Look at those eyes.
Those are the eyes of a competitor in more than one sport.
Those are the eyes of a guy that is very confident in his ability and is deep in concentration and knows exactly what he's trying to do.
Yeah, he is deep in concentration right now, right? 10th frame. For the win. That's enough right there. He knows it. So Walter Ray gets another chance to bite into those seconds that he has.
Yes, he does. He gets to bowl for the title, and Butch Soper sitting there thinking, well, I had my chances. This one ball got away again. That 6th frame, 6-4.
And leaves the 10 pin. He doesn't care at this point in the match. because he's going to be in the 240s with expired conversion to be 248. Walter Ray will move on to bowl Brian LeClair for the championship of the Track Synergy Open. Cross lane at the 10-pin. Has it. Solid game for Walter Ray. Butch finishing it out. And can finish it out with 242, Earl, but it's going to be just a little short.
Well, again, this is by far our best match score-wise, and it's still close. All our matches have been reasonably close going into the 9th and 10th frame. So it's still another good match, Mike.
And we get the worm cam right here. And another flush strike, putting Butch Soper in the 240s, but just well, the strike will be 6 pins short of Walter Ray Williams Jr. Well, you'd think that Walter Ray is in the catbird seat, facing a guy in his first telecast, bowling for his first titles, got to be nervous, and he's just as relaxed as they come right now. And we finish it out with Walter Ray winning 248 to 242. And Brian LeClair warming up, getting ready. We'll be back with championship frame.
How much younger do you want to look? The choice is yours when you get rid of gray gradually with Grecian Formula 16. Just comb in this clear liquid and look what happens. Day by day, Grecian Formula replaces gray with natural-looking color, so you can decide exactly how much gray you want to lose. Stop and leave a little gray, or keep going till you lose all the gray. How much younger do you want to look? Grecian lets you decide. Liquid, cream, or convenient foam.
More relief than the regular strength of Bayer or Tylenol. Anacin, when you really got a headache.
Nutrageous from Reese's. Peanuts, milk chocolate, caramel, Reese's peanut butter. Nutrageous. Give your mouth a party.
What would I like? A baked clam. Yes. Veal parmesan. Oh, and garlic bread.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, all the things that give me heartburn. Oh, and it's too late to take my Pepsid AC.
What?
The package says to prevent heartburn, you have to take it an hour before eating.
An hour? You don't have to wait that long.
I don't?
Try my Tagamin HB.
Tagamin?
The label says it takes half the time of your Pepsid.
You're kidding.
No.
I mean, I could take Tagamin HB now, order what I want, and not get heartburn?
Sure, and it lasts for hours.
Waiter.
Tagamet HB, advanced prevention of heartburn in half the time.
If interest rates are down and stocks are volatile, where should you invest?
Well, with the volatility of the stock market, I'm not sure. Space.
Sometimes life calls for deeper answers. That's why there's CompuServe. For less than $10 per month, you can visit over 3,000 interest areas and get easy access to the internet. Enter CompuServe. Call for free software and 10 free hours online.
And now it's time for championship frame in our opening match. This is the 9th frame. Tommy Delutz in commanding position.
Well, he needed a mark to shut this match out, really, to get it over with in a hurry. 9th or 10th frame, a mark in either frame, and he did it the easy way, getting the strike in the 9th.
And a little fluff of the hand right there as he went on to win the opening match, 200 to 174, sending him into the second match against the veteran Butch Soper. And we're again in the 10th frame. Butch Soper can take the lead with this strike.
Well, this is the one he wanted, and this is really to put pressure on Tommy Delutz. You watch the ball enter the pocket area, just 10 in the pit, and that's the way it should be. Tommy Delutz needed a strike to win this match, couldn't get it.
Left the solid 10 as Butch Soper won it, 197 to 194, sending him into old Deadeye. And Deadeye was just that, here again in the 10th frame.
Needing a strike, put him in the 240 range, and to shut this match out against Butch Soper. Butch Soper had his chances, let him get away, and Walter Ray Williams took advantage of that with this strike here to win the match.
And very confident Walter Ray Williams Jr. won the semifinal match 248 to 242. Well, look at those fingernails. They're ready to claw. So is Walter Ray. So is Brian LeClair.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think?
Original and cooling blue.
By Menon, you take your lips in the wind and into the snow. So you better take your chapstick wherever you go.
Chapstick protects.
Love your lips.
It moisturizes.
To help heal dry, chapped lips for healthy lips.
Chapstick.
For the star-studded Dallas Cowboys, it was a super climax to an amazing season. Share the glory in this exclusive Cowboys Super Pack. The incredible new Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl Champions video, plus this super special leather-bound Sports Illustrated commemorative edition, both free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Get Troy and Emmett, Primetime, and the Playmaker in this star-packed video, plus the gold-embossed, individually numbered SI commemorative edition, a magnificent championship memento you'll treasure forever. Get this exclusive Cowboys collector's package free when you order 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now to get your unbeatable super pack, free from Sports Illustrated. It's a sports experience like no other. Get into it.
The Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights that can affect you personally and professionally. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. Now, with your paid 10-week subscription, you'll also receive our gift of 2 weeks free. That's 12 weeks of the Journal for just 65 cents a day. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call now, 800-356-9800. That's 800-356-9800 for the Wall Street Journal.
And they're ready. The championship match. The Track Synergy Open.
What a crowd. They're really into this, huh, Mike? Getting excited for this championship match. Brian LeClair with a choice of lanes. Has Walter Ray Williams starting on the left lane.
Thank you. And the music was still going, and the Walter Ray was deep in concentration. Hardly noticed it. But
well, he was in step there. You notice he was right there with the music beat.
And a little lapse of concentration. He let that one leak a board or two to the right.
Looks like he got a little fast with the feet and maybe tried to create a little more ball speed than he'd been using because the ball just didn't quite get back, and he didn't have good balance at the foul line on that shot.
I wonder how important balance is in horseshoes.
I think it's important in anything.
Important in life, huh?
No question about it. No question about it. But this should be interesting, Mike, right here.
Well, he's got to be nervous. The heart's got to be pumping.
First look at Brian LeClair. And his first look,
age 31,
at television on the PBA Tour.
And gets it in the 1-3, but the 7-pin doesn't cooperate.
Well, Brian LeClair, as I mentioned earlier, bowled a 298 in his first game on national television, but that was the American Bowling Congress Masters, also in a arena setting. So he's familiar with this kind of a setting, but maybe not with people being down the lanes on each side, which also can be distracting.
At the 7-pin, trouble.
Well, those are the kind of mistakes that inexperience causes, and something that very seldom will a Walter Ray Williams make this kind of mistake. Here, he's just overly cautious, playing the left side of the lane, and kind of steers the ball rather than throwing it off his hand, and the ball just rolled left and hooked into the channel.
So he's afraid it wouldn't get there and just overpulled, huh?
Well, generally, down the middle of the lane, the ball's going to skid. That one, he got it too far left. It just went into the hook area on the left side.
The only positive, maybe that'll relax him and take the jitters away, and he can perform.
Well, sometimes it'll get you angry, and if you get angry, that'll take everything else out of your mind. You just get up there and let your body take over and do what it's been trained to do, and that's make good shots.
And that's what this man does on a consistent basis, make good shots. And will he trip it in again? No, he leaves the 9-pin this time.
Walter Ray getting a little more on the side of that one. The ball hooked a little earlier, went a little high in the head pin.
Walter Ray is wearing a microphone. Try and eavesdrop on it. We talked to him about whether he's in a better position in the second place than first right now.
Like I say, you got to win one match no matter where you're at. All I needed was a slight break 2 weeks ago. I'd have won the tournament. Bowled a pretty good game. Dave got a couple of breaks, and fortunately for him, in the 10th frame, he got the break, and I didn't. Today, I still need to win one match, and I just got to go out and then win the first match and then win the second match. So I just got to go out and bowl the best I can.
Makes it simple, doesn't he?
Well, he does, but here's a guy that's going to stand in his way, because you can't overlook this man. He's got a lot of talent, and even though he doesn't have the experience, he still has the ability to shoot a number at you, and they're a bad break.
Oh, boy. That would have relaxed him so much if he could have carried that and got right back in this match.
Well, it might help him to make this spare. If he can get up here and pick up the 10-pin, it looks like it's a long ways away. And
awful small, huh?
And awful small, but he shot thousands of these in his lifetime. Shouldn't be any problem for him.
Well, we've left a lot of 10-pins, all of us. Here's another one.
Here's a look at it. You can see the ball. It looks like a pretty good shot, but it goes up right around the neck, Mike, and those things happen. Sometimes it's the ball, sometimes entry angle. You never know. There's, you see him picking up the 10-pin. Again, now we're live.
Trails by an even 10 pins, 4th frame. And leaves the 2-8 where the ball skidded a little bit too far and didn't make it back.
Well, again, this is a tough spare. Now, he missed an easy spare on the left side, the 7-pin. This one's a lot more difficult, the 2-8. He wants to get both pins with the ball, and it'll be interesting to see where he plays this. I would play it off my strike line. It looks like that's what he's going to do here. Play it down the right side of the lane and try to hook it over into the 2 and the 8.
That's what he's going to try and do, and does. He rolled out there.
Well, that's a little more hook than I might have played, but it worked for him, and that's the key thing. He got it done.
Walter Ray, leading by 12, can increase to 22.
Well, also in the back of Walter Ray's mind is he'd like to get that #1 rating back that Norm Duke took away from him about 4 months ago.
A little early hook, and the ball set up right there for the 4-pin.
Yeah. Easy spare for Walter Ray. He very seldom misses a spare. They call him Deadeye from his horseshoe pitching days, but it also means that he's such a great spare shooter. He very seldom misses a spare.
Yep. Plunks it down there. Thump, 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 thump. He hits it.
Well, we said he's a Hall of Famer. He's also #4 in the all-time money list with earnings of over $1,600,000. Not too bad. That's just about what you won in the first 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, that's close. Close, yes. This is his 78th television appearance as he gives an affirmative reaction to that shot.
He says carry, and it did.
And going into that last match, he was 64 and 65. So now he's 65 and 65 in his 78th appearance.
Well, this is the big shot for Brian LeClair because he's still in this match. Walter Ray hasn't been able to get away from him. So by the virtue of that strike there by Brian LeClair, this is anybody's game, and this is the championship game. Brian LeClair only needing to win one game. Remember how well he bowled in his first time. So Walter Ray also is aware of that. He just can't seem to get away from the kid early on, so anything can happen.
Big shot right here, though.
Well, he finally carried the right-hand lane. Oh, he rolled it extremely well.
Oh, perfect reaction. A little emotional reaction there, too.
Well, in your first chance to win a PBA title and you got to go against Walter Ray Williams, that's not very relaxing to begin with.
Well, it's a 2-pin match. Walter Ray looking for his first strike on lane 4 in the championship match. 4-pin again.
Well, he just can't seem to get the ball to stay to the right far enough for him, and he keeps making small adjustments on the lane with his feet, but the ball still wants to hook up high on the headpin.
So you think he'll make bigger moves or just throw harder?
I think he'll throw harder. Walter Ray likes to change ball speeds rather than make big moves on the lane, so I think he'll throw harder.
And it's NHL hockey. For you hockey fans, join us this Sunday, February the 25th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time as the Chicago Blackhawks, led by Jeremy Roenick, take on the Philadelphia Flyers, whose leader is, of course, Eric Lindros.
This is getting very serious in Walter Ray Williams' mind right now because Brian LeClair has gotten loose now. He's relaxed a little bit. He's got 2 in a row. Walter Ray having a little problem getting things going there.
David Room.
Come on. Thank you.
Didn't throw it as well as he'd like, as we see what the winner is going to receive. And that winner could be Brian LeClair. He can take the lead in the match for the first time with a strike on lane 4. 7th frame. If he does it, that's $22,000, would substantially add to those career earnings. Oh, it's there. Perfect.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I had to pick a winner, it'd be Brian LeClair right now. I like the way he's rolling the ball and the angle that he's entering the pocket. He looks extremely strong and confident right now. Here's another look at that shot. Watch where he's playing the lanes, right between the 2nd and 3rd arrow, and he's hitting the dry area of the lane farther down the lane than Walter Ray Williams is, so he's getting a good ball reaction and a good entry angle. Entry angle is the key to whether you strike or not. If it comes at the right angle, you carry. Another good shot. Oh, and the 4-pin. Just a little deeper into the lane there, right, Mike?
Keeps it tight match, so Earl.
Well, that's a deep sigh of relief you see from Walter Ray Williams there, because a strike by Brian LeClair, and there's not much Walter could do about it. This match could have been over early on if he had kept it going.
Well, a spare conversion. He's missed a spare on this side of the lane once already.
I don't think he's going to miss anymore. There's a lot more ball speed on that one.
A lot more accuracy, too.
Yeah. Well, that's important.
Walter Ray still looking for his first strike and first double of this match. To take the lead. More speed. Oh, and a solid 7. Oh, my goodness gracious.
What do I have to do? It's unbelievable. Oh, man. Unbelievable. Come on.
Cross lane at the 7-pin. Keep the match close. Dead center.
That noise you hear as the ball goes down the lanes is the way he's releasing it over the finger holes and the thumb hole so it won't hook.
9th frame.
That's not rocks and nails on the lane, by the way. It's just rolling it over the holes.
Trails by 7, has to regroup and set it up, right?
Has to have this one. There's no question in my mind that if he doesn't strike here, he's not going to win this tournament.
Now let's see. 3 strikes, 9 balls in the pocket. Thank you.
That's Walter Ray expressing just how frustrating this game can be, and especially since his last 2 outings, he's finished 2nd.
Still alive, but just barely.
Here's another look at the last shot, and you can see it's in the pocket again, as Walter Ray said. Just can't carry. A little high almost every shot, Mike. All right, to load it up in the 9th. Brian LeClair, chance to really do something strong, win his first time on national television on the PBA Tour, and what a thrill it'll be for this young man if he can get it going.
Well, basically it comes down as he leads by 8 going into the 10th frame. If he strikes his first ball in the 10th, he's accomplished that lifelong goal. There's the score. For the win.
And he threw it well. Oh, he got too much oil. Tough spare again.
Well, he's made it once already.
Well, he needs to make this spare, get good count, to make Walter Ray Williams get 2 strikes in the 10th to win.
If he would miss it, Walter Ray would only need a mark to win.
Well, let's not wish anything on him. Oh, boy, what a tough spare. The 2-8. He wants to get them both with the ball again. He's going to hook it off the strike line.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. A win by Brian LeClair in this match, in this tournament, would qualify him for the Brunswick World Tournament of Champions and he would bump off Jimmy Johnson, who's on the bubble.
All right, count is very important here. A strike is 206. Walter Ray Williams a maximum of 208. So you can see it's very important that he gets all 10 pins to make Walter Ray get 2 strikes and 9 to win the tournament.
And he does. So Walter Ray knows the task ahead of him. He has not struck on the right lane in this game, and he must strike twice and get 9 to win the title.
And every ball on this lane has been a little high in the pocket area, so will he make an adjustment? We'll find out. Ball speed would be the way to go. Throw it hard. And he did, as hard as he could throw it. And he got it.
It rolled out right, perfect. Brian LeClair can't look. Oh, what he must be thinking at this point in time. As you say, there's no defense.
Well, the only thing he can hope for is that that Walter Ray throws it too hard and leaves the 10 pin.
Come on, baby, come on! Yes!
All right, we could have a tie. He needs 9 or better to win. 8 would be a tie. Remember, he's had the 4-9 standing on this lane twice.
All right, come on.
And Brian LeClair again finds his shoelaces. What's interesting right now. The graphic tells it all. There's your winner, Walter Ray. He receives congratulations. We'll add ours and talk to him. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Sometimes you need to take them away from the TV and video games, whether they want to leave or not. Because sometimes you can show them things they'll never find in their room at home. And sometimes you can teach them things that are worth learning just from you. And sometimes they can find something in themselves that they never knew they had. Bowling at BPAA centers. It's a whole lot more than a game.
Clearview Lanes in Mount Joy.
You're the vision that lights our way.
When we started a family, we moved out of the city and into a small town. 2 kids later, we moved over to Taurus. It meets all of my safety concerns, plus it's room here and it costs less than the imports. So for me, it really wasn't a choice between imports. It was a choice of what's important.
Now with $600 cash back, Taurus is priced less than last year, or get 4.8 financing.
He accept the money before the tournament, because if he did, they're going to have to forfeit the championship. You've got the documentation. I need it tonight. This is our lead story.
I know Tyson is fighting where, and I know Tyson is fighting when, but I need to know who that next opponent's going to be. And we're looking at a series.
Well, guys, what do you like better, hurt me or spank me? Spank me.
Spank me.
Perfect. Okay, well, this is extremely important. If you can get it to me tonight, I can get this on tonight.
Last year, Northwest and KLM launched a better international service, World Business Class, to those responsible for a great first year. Go on, take a bow.
The Track Synergy Open is being brought to you by Track, the new bowling technology, and by Skin Bracer Aftershave, original and cooling blue by Mehmet. Well, there's your winner, finally, huh?
Boy, that was a tough one. I had a good shot to the pocket, but that right lane was hooking just a little bit. Fortunately for me, Brian didn't strike out in the 10th frame, locked me out. I had an idea what to do in the 10th, but...
What was that?
Well, I had to move just a touch more. I didn't want to move too much. It'd back up on me, so I had to just move just a touch and just keep it firm in the pocket. Fortunately, they fell.
You kept it firm.
I tried to.
A lot of frustration going early on there, Walter, especially in the 8th frame, and you left that solid 4-pin. At that point, any adjustments in ball speed?
I must have got a little slow at that particular shot. The right lane was the one that was giving me a little bit more trouble. It was just hooking just a touch more. That's the lane Butch went through the beak those 3 times. So it was just hitting that lane in the 10th frame. I felt pretty good about that.
A lot of frustration again, all those seconds going through your mind?
A little bit. I was thinking not again, but every once in a while you get a break, and today I got